good to see you here this Friday morning. It's kind of quiet here right now, actually. My 16-year-old daughter is out with her dad right now, getting her driver's license. Yes, this is really happening. It feels like yesterday. I was a brand new mom, didn't know how to change a diaper, didn't know what the heck I was doing. And now, boom, here it is, 16 years later. We're expecting baby number 11, and our oldest is getting her driver's license. Wow, this is a whole new level of trust and excitement. And this is where it was all going, right? We're not just keeping them perpetual kids and perpetual babies, cute as the baby stage is, challenging as the baby stage is. So, yeah, that's happening in my world today. And I'm also here to do part 2 of my whining special. Oh, no, not the kind of wine that maybe us moms enjoy from time to time, and I'm foregoing for the duration of my pregnancy. I am talking about the kid kind of whining that experience pretty fast once you become a parent, right? Even from the youngest age. So I talked on Wednesday about whining part 1, but I was like, oh, there's more. I have more on my heart to share with you, to encourage you, because this is for me, probably for you too, nails on a chalkboard. So I'm going to get into it. Now, here's the deal. I think what's even worse about hearing my kids whine is when I realize they're just copying me. I sometimes overhear my kids from the other room, they're just having their banter or whatever. And all of a sudden they'll say something word for word in the exact tone that I say it in. For example, this is probably the most common one that I hear, and I kind of laugh, but I kind of cringe. And they'll say to each other, seriously, complete with the huff and the eye roll. And I'm like, okay, they got that from me because I do that. Are you kidding me? Seriously? I even have a pajama that's got a little cat. Looks like it's clinging to my pajama that says, are you kidding me? Because it's one of my favorite things to say. And at the same time, I'm like, oh, I'm teaching them how to do it. That's pure modeling. So when it comes to whining and teaching them how to do life well, how to communicate well, how to deal with your emotions well, a lot of that's going to fall on me because I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom, and they're learning a lot of just their communication styles from me. So someone asked me hey, Tara, how do you deal with whining well? You got all these kids, you must have picked up a trick or two and they were in your time. And I'm like, yeah. And I've also learned that sometimes it's really me. So here's how I deal with that. When I hear them repeating word for word what I'm literally teaching them to say, well, step 1 is just take personal responsibility and be like, oh, ouch. Okay. That's me, right? That's me. I take responsibility for that kind of quietly in my heart. And I realize, okay, take 2. I call it take 2. I could just, movie, right? Director cut, just let's take 2. Let's start that over again. And rather than ignoring what just happened, especially if it's between the two of us, sort of take a deep breath, take a moment, process my feelings. So I'm not kind of attacking them when really it's on me in this moment, and just getting irritated with them would be unfair, really. So I then say to them, hey, so-and-so, come here. Will you try that again? And they'll be like, at first, will you try that again? So I'm saying, hey, will you try that again? I'm not just commit, try that again. Will you try that again? And if they don't know what I'm talking about, they're kind of I'm not connecting what just happened to what's happening right now. Then I'll say it like this. I'll feed them a line. This is literally like theater kind of terminology. Take 2, feed me the line, and I'll say it like this, and then seriously, and they might be like, can I please have my turn? Instead of give me my turn, or are you serious? And, if it doesn't come out perfect, but they're going in the direction now, they're going in a better direction, then there's grace, right? For immaturity, for imperfection, for being young and learning how to talk and communicate. Even if there's a little bit of gritted teeth, maybe they're like, can I please have my toy now? We're moving in the better direction. So I'm going to encourage them, those baby steps, just like you would with toilet training. You're it's hit and miss, right? For the first bit. But I don't necessarily dump on the kids for moving in the direction that we intend to go. I know that mastery comes in time, right? It just mostly comes down to practice. But now I've given them a script of, instead of mimicking mommy's less than perfect talk in the heat of the moment, or resorting to whining like we talked about on Wednesday. Now they have a script, they have a line, we can practice that. So I understand like it might sound so easy and you're just like, oh, Terry, you make it sound so easy. Listen, I know sometimes it does sound easier said than done. And most of the time, it's like we're on default mode and we don't even realize the stuff that's flying out of our mouth or the tone that we're saying it in or where any of that stuff is even coming from. And we want to parent our children well. We see that this actually matters generationally and they're going to raise the next generation and the next generation. We're like, oh my gosh, am I just going to continue these dysfunctional habits that really matter or that are going to set my kids up either things that go easier for them in the world are going to go a lot harder, professionally, relationally, financially, in their marriages, everything. So if you're kind of like, you make it sound so easy, Tara, but it's, maybe you're feeling like it's not going to work for me. It's really possible that there's just some stuff going on in your heart. There's just some stuff that's kind of like under the surface, like 90% of an iceberg is under the surface and you're just seeing the tip of it, but there's where it's all coming from. It's like the root of the tooth or the root of the plant. There's a lot of analogies. You could just honestly use some help. I'm gonna be real. I'm a big fan of getting help, whether it's just getting some good advice or getting some one-on-one support. So I just want to let you know that I actually do have one-on-one appointments available. One-on-one with me, yours truly, kind of to get to the heart of it, to have a listening ear, to be the person I wish I had to talk to 15 years ago when I was a brand new mom and no one to talk to about the struggles. Somebody who'd be, not harsh and judgmental, but a listening ear, give me some scriptural advice, give me some practical stuff that matters in my situation right now. So if you'd like to get a one-on-one 45-minute appointment with me, feel free to check that out. The link's in today's video, so you can go ahead and see where our availabilities would match together. And I'd love to connect with you and be a support and encouragement to you. So listen, sometimes all you need is a space to be heard, right? Just to kind of like say a couple things. Honestly, sometimes just talking about what you're going through, things start to make more sense. You see the connections, and someone more objective who's not like emotionally in the storm of your life can maybe make some helpful suggestions. I'm happy to meet you on that, road of grace with, like I said, I speak the truth in love. And anything I'm going to share with you, it's going to come from a place of love and humility and no kind of like mom report card, because ew, who needs a report card as a mom? We do a good enough job slamming ourselves, right? So I've been there 3 under 3, 5 under 5, 7 under 7. And now my 16-year-old is getting her license today. Oh my gosh. And we have a 15-passenger van. So she's driving like the equivalent of an elephant. So one step at a time, mom, right? One step at a time. We're all growing in God's grace, and I'm happy to meet you on that road and be a blessing to you in your own journey as we overcome the big family mom struggles and grow in grace together. So I got for you today. Thank you for meeting me. I'm just going to check the chat real quick. And here we go. Oh, you just got her license too. Well, there you go. Your dad's favorite line. Unfortunately, my thing is not telling me who's saying it. So listen, give me 2 seconds because I want to know who's saying these awesome things and meeting me in the chat. It's such a blessing. Here we go. Big Family Moms. I'm opening up my own Facebook page right now. There I am. And she is brave and capable. Thank you so much. Yes, and she is brave and capable. And she's been raised by me, so I'll take that as a compliment. And her dad, too. He's the one who drove her out today. Here we put my mute on because I'm listening to myself talk. So yours just got her license, too. You okay with that? You're not freaking out? Oh. She is brave and capable. God is with her. I learned how to drive, right? We can all do this by God's grace together. When you ask like that, I have to say no. What a great way to keep your chill, but then give your kid a chance to take two, right? Because there's grace to start over rather than just ignoring them and be like, I'm not listening. I'm not listening. Because like God is listening, right? The Father's heart is listening, but we just kind of move them and say, why don't you say that again? Right? I appreciate when people do that with me. So love the do-overs. Good to connect with you today. I'm so glad you're able to chat with me live. I'm going to pop out now because we've almost hit the 10-minute mark and I've got to get back to my busy Friday, and I'm sure you do too. So God bless you today, and I'll see you on Monday.